our session number 11. Whee! So this is a detail phase that I've compressed down to 5 minutes because detailing is fun for the person doing it, not necessarily for people watching it. And this time I'm going to focus on the underfaces, which are behind the jawbone and underneath the horns. And unlike most of the other pieces, I'm going to be sculpting these in symmetry because the only way to really see them both at the same time is either straight on, looking straight on at the piece, or looking straight from behind. And hopefully the central details like the faces will distract you enough so you won't notice that they're symmetrical. So here I'm just blocking in some teeth, just smushing some orbs and moving them into place, and doing some basic sculpting to flatten them out a little bit, but nothing too detailed because there are a lot of teeth in this skull thing, and I think I'm gonna work on the teeth at the very end once I've done all the detailing phases for the rest of it. And like everything else that I've been doing, it's still basic brushes, like the Damien standard brush, the clay buildup brush, and then smoothing it out, and then build it up with the clay brush, smooth it back, crease it with the Damien standard brush, pull out some sharp edges like on the forehead shields here, the forehead plates. The intention was to make the forehead plates look like chitinous bone or hard shell, like a beetle shell. So those are going to be a little bit more flat than the rest of the plates that I've been doing, that I've kind of made muscles into for no reason, just because I think they look cool. Not using the move brush a whole lot at the detailing stages, because when you use the move brush, it changes the silhouette of the overall piece, and I like the silhouette of the pieces that I've got so far. So I'm not going to be making too many major movements. A little bit of the inflate brush to round out some of the areas in between the creases to make them more bulbous. And again, I change shaders quite often when I'm sculpting. Different shaders give you a different perspective on what you're working on. I usually try to stick with the metallic shaders. There are some wax materials and some clay materials that come with Zbrush that are fun to play with, but I find that if I'm sculpting something that's going to be printed, the metallic shaders give me a better idea of what the printed geometry is going to look like. So that's just personal preference. I've seen some really advanced sculptors just use the default wax brush, or the wax material. So the material doesn't really matter. It's just the personal preference. This is how I do it. You don't have to do it that way. Adding in some dimples and more creases and inflating pipes and stuff. And now I'm just making sure that where the faces meet with the other pieces of geometry, that it looks like they should be slotted together instead of just, oh, this happens to end in a transition here for no reason. Lots of little motions. One fun trick that I like to do is use a very wide radius on the Damien standard brush, and then use very light pressure to make a crease, and that keeps the surrounding edges, or the surrounding surfaces of the crease, more roundy. If you use a thinner radius on the Damien standard brush, your cut will be more severe. So that's a little tip from me to you. This only works if you're using a pressure sensitive device like a tablet. So if you're still sculpting with a mouse, you'll have to fiddle with the intensity slider. But you should probably be sculpting with a tablet of some kind. It makes it a lot easier. ZBrush was kind of made for that type of interface. So not to say you can't do it with a mouse, but I highly recommend a stylus setup. Alright, so I think this is the last bit. I'm checking different shaders to see how the shadows lie and to see if the shadows look cool from various angles. And here is a fun high render from Keyshot. I like using the clay material because it looks really cool. That's it for this round. Next time I'm going to finish up detailing these underfaces and then the gums in the front. If you enjoy this kind of thing, please consider supporting my work on Patreon. Like and subscribe to this video, and I'm gonna keep going until the music volume turns up randomly at the end here. Oh, I didn't make it to the cut. That's why I'm not a DJ. That's why here we go. Bye!